Welcome in to episode 9 of our Let's Play Civilization 7 series here on the Maddish Moose YouTube channel. We are in the Antiquity Age. We're playing as Amina. We are playing as the Aksumite civilization. As of this recording, patch 1.2.3 has dropped, and I've got thoughts. I think it's a wonderful patch. I'll tell you about what I maybe disagree with on it a little bit, but I do think it's good. I'll give kudos to Firaxis when we talk about it here at the opener, probably at the beginning a little bit. We're going to go through my thoughts on the patch quickly, and we'll jump into our game. Turn 84 in the Antiquity Age. We're working our way through. We've got an aggressive settle we're about to try to pull off. If you need to catch up on any of the action leading up to this moment, down below in the description, there's a link to episode 1. You can catch up on all of the episodes leading up to this moment in our game of Civilization 7. We are here in Aksum, our capital city, 15 strong. I'll continue to complain about the fact that this is a small number. Kokia's only got 16, 18 in Wasset. I don't know. We can see some other cities now. The 15's not bad. It's not bad. It's not great, but we have to remember we're in the desert. We've been focusing production pretty hard. I think we can get that number up really high. We have so many beautiful tiles that we want to take advantage of. We have so many howlets we want to put down. We want more growth. I think we'll get there. We'll get there. I think, maybe, I hope. That's the plan. We got time left here still in the age. We're gonna be good, I think. But we have to focus on farms. We got to focus on howlets, and we'll get rolling from there. Now, before we jump into gameplay, I want to take a moment just to chat briefly about update 1.2.3, which when I'm recording this dropped this week. It dropped about 4 or 5 days ago. And I have been playing on this update in one of my other games. I have kind of explored the update a little bit, and I have a couple thoughts. Number one, Firaxis is listening to the community. Once again, a lights out update from Firaxis. First off, the update is good. Second off, they dropped the first part of the Right to Rule expansion. So Genghis Khan, the new leader, is out. The Assyrian civilization is out. The Vietnamese, the Davlit civilization is out. And 4 new buildable wonders are out. Awesome content. Great stuff. More of that. I hope a ton of more of that in the future, right? We want to see, look, I know what it's all going to be DLCs. I know I'm going to have to pay for it. I don't care. I want more of it. I like what they're coming out with. I think that all of it looks fun and unique. I think they're coming out with unique ideas for their civs, for their wonders, and for their leaders. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where the game evolves in that space. Additionally, the update specifically focuses on addressing a ton of things that the community very specifically has been requesting. One of the big issues that a lot of people, I didn't really, but a lot of people, one of the big issues they had is the transition from age to age feels pretty jarring. And I don't disagree with that point. I do think it does. They've addressed this in multiple ways, and a lot of it is actually options that you can change in your pre-game settings, which is even better because that means that people who like the way it is now can still continue to play the way it is now. And what they're doing is just giving players more options to play the way they want to play. I cannot stress to you how refreshing this is as a take from a developer to watch them iterate on the game in a way that's responsive to the players, but still respectful to the part of the player base that's enjoying the game the way it is. I think this is really smart on Firaxis' part. One of the best changes they made, I think, is there's now a 10 or 20, if you set it that way. There can be, and you don't have to set it this way, but there can be a 10-turn kind of countdown basically when the age progression hits 100. So previously, and we'll experience that in this patch because this save will not be on that patch. When we move up into the next age, we will be on that patch. But we won't experience that here. And we might not experience it at all depending on how their default settings are for the next one. So in our game, when we hit 100% up here in our age progression, that turn will be the end of this age. There's no countdown. There's no, and the percentage does not equate to turns, right? So things could happen and all of a sudden we'll be at 100 and then boom, end. So anything you're working on can't be finished. Anything, a wonder you're building can't be finished. You're trying to get an army to a particular place, doesn't really matter. And that 10-turn buffer is going to be amazing because what will happen is it doesn't matter when you hit 100%. I mean, it does still because then you trigger the 10-turn buffer, the 10-turn countdown. But you still get those 10 turns to finish up or wrap up anything you want and set your civilization up for the next age. Big, big improvement. Now, the next thing they did is they changed the transition style to possibly be more continuous. A couple things that they did is now your armies will stay where they are. They'll be evicted from any enemy lands. So basically all of your open borders treaties will be canceled. So it acts like that has happened. But all of your units will stay on the map. They also automatically upgrade to the next era's units, regardless of whether they are in your territory or not. Now, normally you have to be in your own territory or an ally's territory in order to be able to upgrade your units. At age transition, you are now able to have your units automatically upgrade to the next level right outside of your enemy's borders. That is one of the things that I think they've stretched too far. I would love, perfect world, if your units, if they're in your territory, boom, automatic upgrade. If they are not in your territory, they have to be moved back to your territory or a place where you can perform a regular upgrade to be able to upgrade your units. I think it's a little bit too ridiculous, a little bit too aggressive for your armies to all of a sudden auto upgrade right outside of your opponent's borders. Your opponent's, obviously, your opponent's stuff automatically upgrades as well, but I don't like the concept of you being able to upgrade units outside of your land. Changes tactics and changes strategy in a way that I don't love. If you need to upgrade units, I think you should have to come back to your territory. Everything else about that, I love. I love that your armies stay. I love that they stay packed if they're packed. I love that they stay in place if they're in place. You also get to keep your siege weapons. You get to keep your boats. You get to keep your scouts. And you get to keep your settlers. And that is where, again, I think maybe it's pushed too far. I do not think you should get to keep your settlers for the next age. I think that logically it makes sense that in the next age of the game, you have a new set of people, a new set of settlers, explorers that want to go out and settle new lands. I don't like the idea of what's going to happen. And I guarantee you this, in every game you play, if you want to min-max the game or if you're playing multiplayer, everyone is going to pre-build settlers and have settlers sitting right on the edge of the water, right on the edge of wherever they can to get to the new world. And there's going to be basically every empire that's competitive or the AI is not going to be programmed to do this. So you're going to be able to crush the AI because you're going to have settlers pre-built and ready to go. And I don't like that idea. I don't. I think it causes you to strategize completely differently at the end of the age. I like everything else. I love keeping scouts. I think that's really important, actually. I love the armies being the way they are. I love being able to keep the boats and the siege weapons. It makes sense. It makes sense in that way. I don't love being able to keep settlers. I think that's going to change up the strategy of the end of the age way too much, and I don't really like the strategy that it invites. So if I were to offer two suggestions for the patch 1.2.3, don't let us keep settlers and make us return to our own land to upgrade armies. Everything else, love it. Love it. And I think a lot of people actually are going to enjoy the settlers thing probably, and I think a lot of people will enjoy the auto upgrade of the units outside their lands. Personally, I'd love to change that. Unfortunately for me, that nuance is not something they gave control over. I can either go the old way or go the new way, and I prefer most of the changes in the new way, so I'm going to play the new way in future games, which means I'm stuck whether I want, you're going to have to pre-build settlers. You're going to have to, your army's going to upgrade wherever they are, and you don't have to go back. So, again, little things that I think, again, probably overall, the patch is a huge positive. Again, shout out to Firaxis for listening to the player base and pushing the game in a direction that I think is incredibly positive. Again, I question some of those pieces. I think they could optimize a little bit, maybe not give in on so many of those pieces of the puzzle to keep the transition feeling like it is still a transition of sorts. It will still feel that way because you're switching civs and everything else is going to still happen that way, but yeah, good changes. The other thing that happens is you have access to merchants and catapults immediately as soon as the age starts. So you can start building merchants right away. You don't have to research a tech or anything like that, which makes a ton of sense. That's a great change. Why would I need to re-research merchants? I researched them in the past and was trading a ton. It should not be a tech. So I love that change. You can auto-explore with your scouts and your boats now. For the most part, there's a couple stipulations to the boats just based off of like deep waters and things like that, where they didn't want you to be able to they didn't want the auto-explorer to drown your boats, basically. Yeah, great quality of life changes across the board. There was other things in there, but those are kind of the major things. So I wanted to just drop my thoughts on that. I know a lot of that, for those of you who maybe are just following this series, maybe we haven't seen a lot of those things, especially in regards to age transition. But when we get there, I think you'll experience we're going to experience the old way, and I think you'll start to see like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. City-states also spawn immediately now in the age. So one of the things that happens at age transition is all the city-states disappear and are then replaced by city-states from the exploration age, which I think is a really fun thing. It has to happen just because of the way they built city-state bonuses. If you were able to keep all those, it just wouldn't. Yeah, it's a nice change to have those city-states that didn't quite make it as civilizations, which is the whole point of them, kind of disappear at the age transition, and brand new city-states or independent powers that are not yet city-states because they have to be reinvested in appear. It gives you something to do with your influence. I don't mind that game mechanic at all. I think that the way that they've worked it is good, but they now spawn immediately. They used to wait a turn and then spawn, so they now spawn in right away, which is a change. But you also have access to influence, to merchants right away. It's a good thing that they spawn right away rather than waiting a turn, and it just allows I think it allows things to progress better. And it's better at getting the transition to feel a little less jarring, because it's not like, oh, all of a sudden there's these huge gaps in the map where those city states used to be. No, it's just a new city state in essentially the same location. And that it works quite well. I've seen it. I watched it in action in one of my games when I transitioned, and it feels pretty good to have the city states just kind of like reset. It's a new peoples that have taken over that particular area of the map that are trying to establish themselves there. So I think that part works. So anyway, those are my thoughts on update 1.2.3. Again, I overall huge benefit. UI changes, subtle UI changes, helping stuff as well. And I think that they're headed in the right direction with the game. If they keep knocking it out of the park with these updates, the game will just keep getting better and better and better. So very excited about that. Those thoughts aside, let's play a little bit of Civilization 7 for our episode today. I think I'm just going to hit the next turn button. We have 296 gold in our treasury. I think what I'm going to do is save up for this altar here in Calo. I'd like to get Calo's growth up a little higher. I think we have altars in every single one of our other cities and towns, and so I think I want to get that altar in relatively soon here in Calo, free us up to build some other things in that particular city. So we'll save up our gold for that, and we'll kind of keep on rolling. We also have to debate, again, Frederick hates us. We're about to forward settle Frederick and Napoleon. We may want to start thinking about building up a second army. Napoleon in particular is waging war with Himiko currently and has troops moving right along our border in order to do so. And if he decides to get angry with me, that would be problematic because he has troops literally right here. We're also keeping an eye, obviously, on Frederick's troops because he actually could declare war on me at any point and start moving troops. And we are currently going to put ourselves into a situation where we're going to move our troops completely out of our land to go and kill an independent power over here. If they still are an independent power. I don't know if anyone's invested in them. So we kind of need a homeland defending army at this point. So we may switch to that in Axum, maybe get another commander out and then crank out a few units while we wait for other buildings to be available to us as we move along. Let's press that next turn button and we will continue in our quest for victory in the Antiquity Age. Thank you, Oscar Wilde and Gwendolyn Christie. Tech unlocked currency that gives us access to the bath and the market, and we get a +1 specialist limit in cities. We haven't talked about specialists yet. We'll probably get into that more in the next age, but they are important, and it is nice to get specialist cap risen in our cities. But we have access to 2 new buildings, which are going to be very useful to us. So we'll go ahead and take advantage of those as soon as we can. The Der Shuriken has been built by an unmet, I believe that was what it said. We have a diplomatic open markets has completed with Napoleon. We have a lot of influence, so let's go roll open markets again. Okay, he accepted. He didn't support it, but he did accept it, and so that's good. That will hopefully further our relationship with him. So we like that. Once we've settled this city as well that we're moving towards right now, we should be able to trade with him. Actually, that should also increase our relationship. Hopefully, it will offset the fact that we're forward settling him. But we'll find out, because we're not only are we going to forward settle him, we're going to share borders with both him and Frederick as a result of the settlement that we're going to put right in here, right? So we're gonna be managing relationships across the board here. The funny part about all that is we actually want to be at war with Himiko at some point, and nothing that we're doing is really progressing that, because we just nothing in the game has moved us in that direction, unfortunately. All right, our next tech. We have gotten currency. We have gotten bronze working. There are a couple of important techs to think about. Engineering is a very important one. It gets you access to the amphitheater, which is the second culture building, and the blacksmith, which is the second production building. Those are two very potent buildings that will assist you in progressing a lot of different things in the age, because your culture and your production will go up. So these are important pieces of the puzzle. Now, we also need access to the villa, as you recall, because in order to extend our capital out, we need to put our villa here, which will then bump us out to being able to get access to this tile to build other things on. I think I want to put like a granary here, maybe even our market. I honestly don't know everything I want to put here, but we have no spot for the granary, and we have no decent spots for our gold buildings currently. Just based on where we sit and the fact that we don't want to burn too many like really ridiculously good looking tiles. So we may need to adjust our strategies, but I'd like to get access to this tile to put something on it. Probably a granary or other buildings that I just don't have anywhere else to put. The reasons I want this tile here is because all of our river tiles and all of our desert tiles are far too valuable to try to build things on. This is just a flat plains tile. We could put a Howwilt on it, but it's not going to look at the numbers that we're going to be able to get out of our desert tiles because of Petra, or our river tiles because of pyramids, or our river desert tiles because of both of those. So we don't want to burn really great tiles to put things like a granary on. So something like this feels good. Obviously, we'd like our happiness buildings here because it's got double mountain adjacency. So that the objective, I think, is get the villa down here, then move into a granary, or being able to put at least something down here. I think the granary is going to end up being very valuable for us. So instead of heading in the direction of navigation, where we get access to the lighthouse, or specifically engineering, which we actually have unlocked, I am going to go for wheel first. It's going to be a 10-turn detour. We also have to think about, do we want extra production? Do we want an extra codex over here? Those are options later. I think wheel is the most important thing for us right now, specifically just to get access to the villa, and then we'll probably go engineering after that. So that is the current plan there. We do have access to some new buildings that we could build in Axum. So once this merchant is done, we will go and check that out. Here is our commander, which again, let's take a look. Yeah, look, everything looks, I don't know. I'm nervous about moving all the way up here, but you know what? We're gonna do it. If we're gonna do it, we might as well do. Oh boy, there's still battles going on. Napoleon is actually waging war with someone all the way across the map from him. He is actively transporting troops through this corridor and actually fighting against Himiko. Man, timing is everything, right? But if we would have been able to join this fight, this city would be ours, this city would be ours, and we would probably be pushing on Cahokia at this point, honestly, because we would have gone into war, we would have been producing another military right away. But with the timing was all sorts of wrong. Okay, Kalo is ready to buy that altar, I think, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and buy this altar in. There it is. That'll get us that 10% growth, because remember, our Pantheon gets us 10% growth in any city or settlement that has an altar. So that's going to get us growth faster there. I like that. That means we have altars in every one of our cities to maximize our growth to the best of our abilities. Also spends all of our gold, just a little bit scary. Next turn. Oh, we haven't been watching down here. Oh, goodness. We just did like 2 turns without ever checking on Shamron. That got scary. They stopped shooting him again. We have our scout who's keeping an eye on Shamron, who we invested in a long time ago. 1 turn until we get a gift from them. 6 turns until we get suzerainty and they become a city-state. It's looking okay. This archer just sat here and didn't shoot this spearman, apparently. So this investment might pay off, I guess. It's going to be interesting. All right, let's get a trade route established with Tyre. Remember, we sent our trader here. We wanted access to this wine and to these llamas. Eventually, I don't think they're going to reach anything else, but that's still 2 useful resources for us. So we'll go ahead and establish that trade route. That'll add a road to allow for movement back and forth between our empire better. Now, we have an extra resource just sitting around. Notice we don't actually have anywhere to put this resource. +1 production, +3 happiness. So the question is, do we want this instead of something else? And I think we actually do. I think these dies, which are just +4 happiness, we could pop this out here, and we'll take the extra production in Kalo that the llamas offer us over the +4 happiness here. And I don't think we need happiness anywhere else. So I think that we're good actually sitting with these dies here. We're going to get +1 gold and +1 happiness on these for being unslotted. So we're only actually losing +3 happiness and we're gaining a gold. So net loss of only -2 happiness, essentially, in putting this here. I get -3 happiness, but we also getting a gold. So it's not a bad play. If we needed happiness somewhere, we could always adjust that. But right now, it's not as important as other things. So we're fully slotted up, which means we need access to some more camels, which we are gunning for here, and we can gun for in Lalibela after we get this gold online, right? But we are very close, 7 turns away from growth in Lalibela, and 1 turn in Kalo, actually. So that's not bad. We also could think about, we can offer military aid to people. Wondering if we could try to further our relationship with Napoleon. Don't think we're gonna find any new free peoples anytime soon that we can feel like investing in. So I'm wondering if we should just try to further our relationship with him right now. Get him some extra military strength for his war against anyone he's fighting against. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna offer him military aid. Okay, he accepted, which means we both get +2 combat strength. Sorry, I get +2 combat strength. He is deciding to take the 2 gold instead of supporting. If he would have supported it, he would have gotten +3 combat strength. He instead chose the gold. It might mean that he doesn't have any influence to be able to support. I was trying to help him in his war, but all of this will help us in our relationship with him, because we are endeavoring with him more now, right? The more endeavors we have, the more we can try to push that relationship positively. So trying to get on his good side before we forward settle him, essentially. All right, well, let's rock and roll. Keep an eye on... Oh, big problems. Oh, this is huge problems. Oh, no.
And all the men and women merely players.
Right, we have access to Colosseum. We increased our settlement limit, so we're gonna be ready to settle that final city. This is it. They're gonna burn it down. There's nothing I can do to stop it. They have a legion, and because this unit didn't die, or they're gonna kill it on the next turn, and they will be moving in, and I won't be able to stop them from burning it down. I cannot get my scout onto the tile because their unit is here. And they now have decided to get aggressive with non-ranged units. The fact that they were using ranged units is what was keeping Shamron alive this entire time. And now it is highly unlikely that we will see our investment pay off. And that means it's going to be will be 4 turns 4 measly turns. And that means that's 270 influence that will disappear if they burn this down. We invested 270 influence because we did 1 extra investment to try to make it go faster. If they attack with this unit and end up on the tile, they'll be able to burn down on the next turn. Oh, that will be very painful. I don't love it at all. Well, at least we got the gift, I guess. We got 25 culture out of that 270 influence. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh man, that's such a bummer. That is such a bummer. I do want these camels. I also want these mines online to get the production from them, but the camels is ridiculously good. Plus, we actually need the camels, right? Oh, I'm so sad about the Shamron people. We made such a big investment there. I mean, not only that, but we're also gonna we're gonna lose a free culture that we're gonna get from that. Oh boy, that's painful. That one is painful. All right, we're going up around this way, right, to get to our llamas. Oh. Oh. All right, our next civic. Now remember, we went to entertainment specifically because of that +1 settlement limit. The other place that will get us a settlement limit is organized military. Organized military will get us a nice boost to our settlement limit so we can settle yet again. But citizenship will get us access to the Weiyang Palace, which is a very potent wonder. I actually don't know if we have any grassland to build this on in our cities. We'll have to check because grassland is kind of few and far between in our settlement. Somebody's already beaten us there anyway. I doubt that we end up getting access to that. We can also check our Axumite civics because we can grab this Port of Nations, right? Which you can't actually read, but Port of Nations is +2 culture and +2 culture and gold for every active trade route, which we have quite a few active trade routes now because we've been sending them out over the last little bit. We're actually sending yet another one out. That's pretty potent. Where do we want to go? I mean, getting to organized military and grabbing that +1 settlement limit is really important. And the big thing here is the Axumites do not have plus settlement limit in any of their civics tree, which is actually kind of rare. Most civs in their civics tree, their specific civics tree, have something that gains you +1 to the settlement cap. The Axumites do not. So that is important. That is important to note. We do want to note that here. I'm really... Port of Nations would replace one of our active cards. When's our next celebration? 5 turns to our next celebration, which actually will give us access to another card. And it would be good to have that card to put in because we don't actually have... we don't actually have anything here that's like super valuable. We're already getting pretty good happiness. We've got all of our best stuff slotted already. So it would be nice to have that card. So I am actually going to quickly detour into our Axumite civics. I want to grab Port of Nations. So we're going to go 4 turns into Port of Nations. That'll set us up really nicely for our next celebration to be able to have a really good card to be able to put in when we get access to another policy card. Then we'll probably trek as quickly as we can towards getting our settlement limit up so that we can get a settle in. I want to go in between Axum and Ohatu, probably right in here somewhere. I have to figure out exactly where the settle is going to be, but it's going to be right in here somewhere. And then we'll put another one up here later. But that'll connect everything again in our empire a little better. And this will provide us with a nice little town that can feed food to our cities, which again will help. Again, it doesn't feed food right away, not until you specialize, but once we grow it and grab a couple resources, then we'll specialize it and be able to ensure that we're getting good food production out to our cities from our towns, which is one of the reasons why we actually aren't growing very fast right now, is because we have no specialized towns that are shipping their food to the cities, which is something that we want to think about for growth in the near future. All right, Axum is ready to build things. Now, they have a bath, which is +6, which I like. I also would really like to get another army commander. So we'll think about that here in the near future. I think the bath is going to be our most valuable building. +6 food. We only have 15 food. I mean, that's a lot of food. We can put that down right on top of our fishing key, which will also get us the +1 science and +1 culture because it's adjacent to our palace. And I think I've been saying city center. It is palace only, by the way, for the +1 science and +1 culture. Once you have a quarter, right, finished next to a palace, you get that +1/+1. So that's why this was nice to get in early. So we'll go with the bath here. That's a 3-turn build. That'll get our food up really quickly. We also want to get this Howelt in. I did actually had a friend do some research, and you can overbuild on top of unique improvements. So if we put a Howelt here, we can overbuild on the Howelt with a Caravanserai if we so choose to go with the Songhai in the next age. So we can go ahead and put that down. That'll get us boosted pretty nicely, actually. In fact, we should probably do that first. To be honest, we should probably just do this first. Let's do that first. And then that, because that's going to get us 2 gold on this tile, and it's going to actually get us 2 culture here and 2 culture here. Or no, sorry, it's going to get us 1 culture on each, I think. Right? So it's a 2 culture boon, which is really nice. I mean, that's 4 +4 overall. It's just a really nice. We want to get those Howlets adjacent to each other, and I think we might as well do it now. Get those quick yields. Then we'll build the garden, and then I think we're going to go into building up another army. I think that's going to be the reality. All right, Kalo has grabbed the extra, the camels, and actually I don't mind that. We're just going to throw the happiness in anyway. We don't have any other resources to slot there right now, although we could move in the llamas from Oahuatu. In fact, we do want to do that. So we're going to take the llamas here out of Oahuatu and put them into Kalo as well. Give Kalo a little extra production boost. It doesn't matter for Oahuatu because the production was just turning into gold. So we're changing gold into production. And then we're losing a little happiness here, but they're a pretty happy place. So both our cities taking up all of our resources. We should get access to more camels here in the near future as well. Here is our merchant, and I think I'm gonna go to Chickasaw over Kansa. Kansa has fish, which is food, which would be really nice. But they also have dyes, and the dyes are just really so-so in my opinion. Whereas Chickasaw will hopefully have sheep at some point. They already have the ivory for +10 production to wonders on desert terrain. It doesn't help, well, and plains, right? And this is plains. So if we build a wonder there, we would get the bonus from that. And then we also get the silver, which is pretty handy, 20% gold towards purchasing and upgrading units. We do want to potentially buy some units here or produce them. Producing them wouldn't happen with this, but if they might encourage us to buy them. I think we're gonna go Chickasaw. I'm gonna go ahead and send the merchant to Chickasaw, and then we'll establish that trade route. I've been debating that for a while. I think that's the way to go. All right, here we go. We're gonna take a risk and go make our way up here. Let's take a quick peek. Napoleon is still pressing in this direction. Okay. Oh no. Now I have to come back down here. I forgot. I'd forgotten until I was like, oh, I have to press next turn. Oh no. Don't do it to me, AI, please! Ada! Oh, I can't, oh no! I failed, I should have moved! Why can't I get there? I can't get there because of what? Tell me I can move all the way there. Oh, I thought it was telling me I couldn't go there. I think when you enter zone of control, we just got so lucky. Oh my gosh. We just got so lucky. When you enter zone of control, notice how it was showing me that my movement could only go 1, but I think that's because it stops you from auto moving into zone of control. And so it was saying move 1 and then you can move again, but you're gonna enter zone of control. I got a little scared. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to move there. That was a little scary to me. We got super lucky in that their archers were the ones who decided to shoot. And then the AI has a bad habit of if the archers clear, then the melee unit actually won't make the move right away onto the tile for whatever reason. And sometimes the AI gets weird and just chooses not to burn these down for whatever reason. They're just, I guess maybe they're just farming experience or farming, I don't know. They don't have a commander here, so I don't know what they're trying to farm. But We have now spared Shamron for a couple more turns. 4 turns. I wonder if we can stand here for 4 turns. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this. It's going to be... Oh, boy. The river also flooded. Thank goodness my scout wasn't standing on the river, but the river flooded, and the flood actually stopped here. Oh, boy. And now we've got Hultjays here. I mean, Shamron is under siege in a serious way, and we are saving them again by having a scout stand on them. What a wild time. All right, let's put this bath down. We're going to put it with the fishing key. That'll be down in 3 turns, and then we will turn ourselves towards crafting a second army. I do want a second army with a commander. That's just standard operating procedure. If you're doing a game of Civ 7, even if you're trying to play a pretty pacifist game, I still suggest 2 commanders, and I do suggest 2 commanders that are loaded full with armies, and trying to get those commanders promoted up at least a little bit so you can stick some additional units in them. 1 for defensive capabilities, and 2 because when you move up to the next stage, you're gonna want the ability to send one army at least right away over to the distant lands and be able to start poking around with an army over there. One of the fun things about that is your commanders can enter the water earlier than your other units can, I believe. If that's still true, they've changed some of that a little bit. And so if a commander has an army packed into it, you can actually go much sooner across the waters than you can just sending units by themselves, which is kind of an interesting feature. Colo also finished the library, so we've got the barracks and the library in, which is very nice. I think we're gonna go into garden. I have no good spot for the monument right now. Our best monument location is way over here on this tile adjacent to this mountain. I don't have the capability of growing in that direction quite yet. I don't actually want to. Well, I guess we might do that next just to get out there. But the problem is I have to build districts out to it, and I'm just not convinced that that's going to be a worthwhile endeavor. I mean, we could put the saw pit here, and we'd have to put something else here in order to get to this. It's a long ways to get to one adjacency spot, and I'm just not convinced it's worth it. The other thing we could do is go around this way to get there, but again, I'm not sure any of that is worth it. So we might just not have any mountain adjacencies here that we could take advantage of right away, which is a little bit painful, for sure. Well, eventually we're gonna want to get out here anyway, right? Because we're gonna want to put our mills, our sawmill and our grist mill in the exploration age are gonna have to come in over here. Well, we could put them on the navigable river though, right? We could always put them on the navigable river. Oh, it's gonna be... Anyway, I don't want to make that decision yet. So I'm gonna put a garden here and then a market here. That's gonna be the way we choose to go. So I'm gonna go garden on this tile and then market on this tile right here. Why? Because coastal water is adjacency bonuses for both of those buildings. I want all of my gold buildings to be getting double adjacent, or the adjacency here. I want all of my food buildings to be going here if I can get the adjacency at least from these 2, plus the navigable river actually counts as well. So nice spots for both of those here and here. So that is what we'll go with there. The buildings we're going to be lacking are going to be the ability to get our happiness buildings because of our lack of mountains, and our culture buildings. Is this grasslands? It is. So Wayang Palace could go in this settlement. And it would actually, if we built it this way, if we put it right here, we could get some adjacency for our culture buildings if we stick it right here. So if we build our brickyard here or something like that, then we could put Wayang Palace here, and then we could add a little extra adjacency. I think that'll be the play if we can get to Wayang Palace fast enough. We'll go there soon. We are on the spot for our hyper-aggressive settle. Oh boy. Here we go. No army within any semblance of space. We're in the water up north here. And we're gonna go with an aggressive forward settle. This settle right here gets us access to 1, 2, 3, all of the Grand Canyon tiles. As well as this iron, as well as this jade, as well as this incense, and as well as this limestone, which gets us production on, I believe this is limestone. gets us production on wonders. Oh, here we go. Let's watch our relationships completely disappear. Have 3 settlements with at least 3 mountains each. Perfect. We've unlocked the Inca if we so wanted to play them. Matara, a hyper-aggressive settle all the way into the territories of our friends. And we'll see how badly that impacts things. Where do we want to grow to first? Probably the incense is what we want first, right? Actually, man, you know what? I think we need to grab these tiles first. I changed my mind. I'm going to grab this tile first. Then we're going to grab possibly the limestone to get access to... Because this city can start taking tiles from us. Wasset cannot. Wasset's borders are already maxed. So we don't have to worry about Wasset taking tiles from us. We do have to worry about Yaxchillan taking tiles from us. So I'm going to push south first and then kind of fill in the rest. I just want to push in this direction right away. Yeah, I'm just going to go hard this way. Our next growth, honestly, might even be this right here, just so we can grab these 2 spots and cut them off from further growth in that direction. Yeah, because this is the only tile we're going to miss, right? 1, 2, 3. This is the only tile we'll miss. If we can claim this next and grab these 2, then we can cut them off from taking any more tiles from us. So that's probably what we'll do. Then we'll start collecting the resources and getting up to the Grand Canyon tile as well. We'll have to, if someone settles up in here, we'll have to make sure we try to grab those tiles fast, but we'll make our way in that direction as we go. Should we buy anything here? An altar would be nice once we have the gold for it, which we will on the next turn. So we might get another altar. We're making gold very quickly in this game. All right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move once. Oh, are they all dead? It'd be so funny if they were all dead. I'm going to deploy my spearmen. And move my spearmen. I think they killed them all. That's such unfortunate timing for us. I think they destroyed. I think they finally, after they stopped my scout from going and exploring, I think they finally killed this this free people. Okay, well that changes kind of our objective here, I guess, right? I'm not going to unpack the rest of my units since I can't see anything. We'll just keep these guys packed. I do want to finish exploring here really quick before we turn those guys around. But we'll turn those guys around and head back to being a defensive army. That also means we could buy, well, one of our scouts, possibly this guy after Shamron lives, could head up in that direction. This guy's already sweeping to the south. And honestly, hindsight's 2020. We probably should have just asked for open borders with... Frederick wouldn't have given us open borders because he hates us, but Napoleon probably would have. We probably could have gotten open borders with Napoleon and just scooted through here, but we'll explore to the south a little bit, see what's happening. Our exploration in this game got really punished by having both of our opening scouts get killed in unfortunate circumstances. Okay, Shamron should be safe, so let's hit that next turn button. There we go, units are moving away. These guys need to move though. I can't move until these guys move. Once these guys move away, I can pull my guy off of Shamron and hopefully allow them to start spawning units again. So we're gonna actually just build a lookout tower on Shamron so we can see what's happening. And then this scout has finally reached the far south here. I think I'm just gonna push. Well, let's do this. There's Black Cap now. That's not his capital though, right? It's gotta be in here somewhere then. Right, okay. So open borders with him might be just a good idea, period. Although, wait. What? There's an untouched discovery? But there's an Assyrian scout near, but that's a Assyria. Oh wait, are they friendly with me? Hold on. You're telling me there's a city-state down here. There's a possible peoples that we can invest in? Okay, so I'm not gonna ask for open borders yet. We now have our goal. Get to this, figure out where the heck these Assyrians are. Because he's not aggressive towards me, right? All right, let's get some exploration done here. Oh, they're still there. Oh, we can burn them down. If they don't step, we could get there. Hold, I can get there now. And they're a militarist, so we would get production out of that. Oh, heck yeah. Okay. It says we'll have movement if we do this, right? So if we just click. If we have a movement left, we'll be able to unpack the archers and then just burn it down on this turn. Or if not, we just burn it down on the next turn. The archer should be able to unpack, still have movement left, and then we just disband. Ha! Is anyone invested here? Oh, Himiko's invested here. Oh no, Himiko, I'm sorry. But I guess we're not friends anymore. 100 production. I wonder where that went. Would actually be nice if it went to... No, it went to Axum, I think. That's fine. That is also promotion for our commander. Oh my gosh, we just made bank on that. We stole the kill. He killed all the units and he's got a couple damaged medjays, and now we come in and just take it right from him. Himiko now doesn't like us very much, but we don't care so much about that. We know that we're going to go down logistics. We want regiments. Regiments gets us that +2 unit slots, which means we can pack more units into this commander. Less important, I think, now with the age transitions the way they are, but still important for us in this particular game because we're not on age transitions there. I don't know what I don't know what the limits are in the new update in 1.2.3. I'm not sure what the limits are on how many army units you can carry forward into the next one. Obviously, all your packed units you still carry over. So we want to have as many packed units as we can. So let's go ahead and push for that. Grab our 2 slots. That is perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better scenario up here. We don't have to fight anyone. We get 100 production and our commander promotion, which is what we were really seeking when we came up here. We'll finish up some exploration, just poke some units around a little bit. Okay, let's move this archer here. We'll just get a little exploration done. See what we can see. This archer must have done the commander must have done the burn using the rest of his turn. And then we'll do this. So now we kind of been able to see everything here. Then we'll just grab everyone back together on the next turn and head back to our land, having come away with an excellent time. I received 100 production. Himiko doesn't like me anymore. And that actually completed our bath in Axum, getting us that +6 food even faster. Now we have access to our market and our granary. Again, we have nowhere good to put the market. We would have to burn an absolutely brilliant tile to put the market down somewhere. And so this +3, there's no adjacency whatsoever for it either. So I'm just gonna sit on that. I don't want to push for the market necessarily if we can't find a decent spot for it. If we make a determination about a spot we can put it down on that will get us some adjacencies and things, like we might end up doing it, but I kind of doubt that that's going to end up being valuable for us. But like all of this is how else, so we can't put anything here. This really, we should take advantage of the production here and put a mine on. So, you know, there's not going to be any good spot for it. Maybe right, yeah, but how are we going to get there, right? I think we just put it right here, like with a granary or something, and like just, man, what, I mean, otherwise we could put it here, but again, look at this tile. Look at this tile! Okay, we could put it here. Good adjacency for a market right here. Maybe, how do we get there though? We'd have to burn this tile. We'd have to put a lighthouse here. We could have put, okay. Hindsight, we could have put the garden here and then put the market here. But my gosh, look at the tiles we're going to be burning to do that. That just feels so bad. We might end up doing it eventually. These tiles getting burnt is so painful. Oh. All right, well. I think I want an army commander. Until we have access to the villa, let's produce an army commander. Let's get that second army commander out and start producing some military units. We'll do the army commander costs a ton, so we'll build that one. I am going to come over here knowing that I don't see any units at my border and no one like truly hates me except for Frederick still. I'm going to go ahead and spend on the altar to get this place growing faster. There we go. We'll take the extra growth there. Once we get like a farm out, we'll probably put our granary in somewhere as well. Here, just to get that growing even further once we have a farm or something. Yeah. Shamron's good. Ohatu continues to expand. 5 turns until Lalibela could potentially become a city. Oh, so we have to start saving for that. Because that's 650. 650 to get Lalibela to city status. And I think I do want that. Once we get this gold, we probably want to get Lalibela to city status relatively quickly. All right, next turn. Let's see what happens. Oh, Napoleon's troops are... Ah! Our capital, right next to the pyramids. Big flood. Oh, the animation on that is pretty cool. Look how beautiful that is. With the water rushing out and down. When is our next celebration? 2 turns from now. So in 2 turns, we'll put that card in. In fact, we could sub it in now, probably. We might think about that. The Awash River has flooded and devastated the area as never seen before. Did it actually damage anything? It didn't. But, oh, now look at the tiles. I don't know if they got better or not, but the yields on them is just insane. To think about burning these tiles to put something down hurts my soul. All right, we have our growth. Now, we could take the cotton, but I really think it's a bad play for us right now to take this cotton. I know that's a lot of gold. I know there's production there. I know we would get +2 food and +2 product. Gosh, that's so good. But look at this tile. And we could put a Howelt on it. So, look, I gotta do it. I gotta take this river farm. We gotta put something on there. And we immediately should turn around and put a Howelt on it. We should literally stop building this. We should come in here. We should slap a Howelt on it. Immediately it gets the Howelt. It's gonna be just such a beautiful top. Plus it gets us more food. Look, we'll get the cotton eventually. 12 turns to another growth. The more we put farms in, the better it'll be. Plus, the more we put farms in, the more it will make me have to put a granary in. Which, we can decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going to hold on both of these, I think. We're going to go in here, and we're going to make a push for... do we go for Wei Yang Palace? Or do we push for that settlement limit and getting another town out as quickly as possible? But this tree doesn't get us anything particularly useful except the settlement. Like, the settlement limit is the only thing we get from organized military. I'm going to go citizenship first. I'm not sure if that's the right call or not. I really need another town to start feeding some of my cities because we're going to have a bunch of cities out here. But that's okay. It's fine. All right, we got a beeline for this, I guess. But we're going to be stuck on the river, unfortunately. Let's just head in that direction. We also got to find these Assyrian peoples. Here's this unit. He can start moving back. We'll do it through here so we can see a little more. This guy is looking at a chariot that's sitting in the water. We'll have this guy, and we'll have our commander pop out over here really quick just so we can see this. I don't think, but there's another island over here? And there's more here too. This will be interesting to explore. We'll get a scout up here at some point. Let's get this guy back. This guy can just rejoin the army, I think, right now. And then we'll grab everybody. Now that this guy's done this, we can actually scoot him here. And then this guy can jump in with him on the next turn. And this guy can jump in and we'll pack up and be on our way. Okay, I think that is the turn. Okay, I can back off on... So this guy has moved and should not be able to get to Shamron. So I can back up on Shamron now. Reset my lookout. 2 turns left. I'll pop right back on if one of them makes a move for this. 200 gold in the bank, 97. And we go next turn. Oh, never mind. Who do we have? Oh, we're at Chickasaw. Perfect. Oh, we can make a trade route with Chichen Itza as well. So again, we're getting to the point where we definitely want this as well. So we need to go form trade with him. Maybe we spend our gold on a merchant. Ooh, we'll have to play around with that. That's gonna be tempting. All right, we're in Chickasaw now, so let's just grab the trade route in Chickasaw. I think that's still what I want, right? Yeah, it's still what I want. Here we go. Both of those were Empire resources, right? So we don't have to slot them into our cities. That was one of the reasons why it's beneficial to grab them, because we didn't have very many slots left anyway. So that allows us to take advantage of both those right away. Here's our Dow. It's finally coming down here. All right, just make your way down here. Because that's the Dow is going to form our Taruga trade route. Next turn, let's keep an eye on Shamron here. Oh, they have a commander? They have a Legatus, which Legatuses can move across rivers, right? Legatuses have extra movement. So that immediately puts me back on Shamron. Just in case, because we have one turn before they become a city-state. So we'll go ahead and hang out for a second. Frederick has completed a milestone for the Great Library. My agenda with Frederick has changed. Probably for the 90 is so bad. Oh my gosh, minus 90 hostility. The fact that he hasn't declared war on me is, I have no idea. I have no idea why he would not have declared war on me. No! There's a Jaguar Slayer over here. Why? After all this time, why? Ugh. Let's get on river right away. There's a scout sitting on it from a hostile village. Is that why it hasn't been grabbed yet? Because no one can grab it because this scout is just sitting here? That's funny if true. That's quite funny, actually. Okay, so we'll have this guy pack. We'll have... Oh, where do we want to go? I guess to pick this guy up, we want to go here. And then we'll pick this guy up. And then we'll head on out. Beauty. Beauty! 335 gold. So we do have some gold. We are potentially saving for Lalibela to be a city. We're potentially needing to buy a merchant. Not enough for a merchant yet, so we are waiting on that. We have 110 influence, but we might discover someone we can invest in. Possibly. All right, let's next turn find out if we're going to get Shamron. It'll probably be the last turn of the episode. I know we went a little slower today. Really, we didn't go slower. I just spent the first kind of 15 minutes talking about the update. So we won't get as many turns this time, but let's go next turn. Yep, see the... There we go. There we go. All right. Shamron has no one to defend themselves, but in order for Ada to attack Shamron, she now has to declare war on me, which she probably won't do. Our relationship is borderline, so we'll have to try to keep, things friendly between us. The Oracle has been completed by Napoleon. We have a growth here, which... No! Why? Oh my gosh, what a punk. What a punk. He took the tile. The turn before we were going to get there, he pushes out to grab borders. He grabbed both the tiles we were going to get. Both the tiles we were going to get, he grabs. The AI is very, very good at doing this. I have noticed the AI will always start to grow towards your borders. If you forward settle them, they will immediately start to grow towards your borders. It doesn't matter if it's towards a resource or not. They will stop everything and attempt to grow towards your borders to try to take tiles for their settlement, which is it's a good thing. It's a good strategy, right? But it creates these scenarios where you're like, no, we're one turn. All right, well, we'll at least grab this tile, I guess, right? This tile's already ours because he can't go that far. That tile's fine. Ugh. Yeah, because he can't get there with this city either. So the river's going to form our border here. And then up. Oh, man, what a pain. So I guess we'll take the limestone then. Make sure we get that tile. Well, you know? Choose a suzerain bonus. We already have the one where we get the free thing already, right? So we're gonna get a free culture just for getting this this particular one. Plus 5% production towards crushing wonders for every city, state, or suzerain. That would be 20% production towards wonders, which is pretty wild. Yeah, because we want to take a crack at Weiyang Palace, and we want to take a crack at one other wonder potentially in our capital city. Maybe. I guess we have to We have to make a decision about that. Well, but if we want Wailing Palace, I think we have to really push for it too. So I'm gonna take Arch. We're gonna take Arch.
Delight to attack.
Okay, we did get a free civic off of that, right? So we got tactics for free. So that pushes us closer on our civics tree, right? To organized military. So citizenship to organized military for that extra settlement limit, which will be really nice. So we'll push towards that. We're also entering a celebration, which feels really nice. The question is, do we want the food or do we want the production? I think I'm taking the food again. We are building, no, we're building an army in Axum. We're going to be building a villa there, but we really don't need the production. We build buildings there really fast. Kalo could use the help with the buildings, but because we don't have a third city, a second city that's actively building buildings, I think would be better for this 30%. So I do think I'm going to take the food again to keep our growth high. We're going to go 20% food for 10 turns. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to go the other direction, but I'm going to switch that up. We're going to put Port of Nations in, plus 2 culture and gold for every active trade route. If we look up here in the fog, we're at 141 gold and 32 culture. So we're going to find out how much that's going to go up. 32 to 44, that feels real nice, and that equivalent in gold as well per turn. So Port of All Nations was definitely worth it. And now we're pressing culture pretty high. Like we're close to everybody's culture numbers. Plus, we're getting those free cultures, the free civics from our suzerainty that we grabbed. So we've gotten 2 free ones. So we're keeping pace, hopefully, culture-wise. Science is a whole nother thing. Messages in clay. An Axumite potter considers an inscription in her newest pot. She recalls the priestess' suggestion to bless its longevity. I am protected by the power of the Lord. But as a troop of rowdy children tumble past her delicate wares, she outlines a different passage. The one who breaks it pays. 25 culture or 50 gold. We are getting a ton of gold, so I'm going to take that culture. Beauty. Kalo is ready to build. We are going to go into a market on the corner. That's a +7 market. I would indeed like to put that in. We also want to probably put the fishing key and the bath down over here, but I'm going to go market first just because we don't have any other market buildings. The food would probably be more worth it to us at this point, but if we can buy more stuff, heck, let's buy more stuff. Get that market down. Here's our scout that is now free. Our scout is free to explore the land. Oh, there was a people's here. Oh, we got a bunch of map explored. So Shamron had actually explored quite a bit of the map. And there is a science city-state that was taken over by Ada Lovelace. Okay, so we got some exploration done there. That's good. And with this scout is just standing here. We almost need to move an army down to remove this scout. This army is going to move down. And we are ready to end our episode. Probably a longer one, potentially, but I feel like a lot of good things happened there. We got to go over a lot of things, especially about the update and things like that. That will be it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the content, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you know when we release these videos. I appreciate y'all watching, and I will see you next week.